Dear Twin Flame souls out there, welcome to the Twin Flame Awakening Journey podcast, and today is in episode 172. Today's episode we are going to talk about the divine feminine energy, the magnetism. Divine feminine is not a chaser and divine masculine is not a runner. And why do I talk about this? That we just had a International Women's Day where we tapped into the energy of divine feminine. I long back ago, I wish I would find this again, but I saw a video where someone said that there is a lot of information out there about twin flames that is a copy-paste from everywhere else, but not exactly what has been lived through. And I totally agree with that. In that sense, I agree that the more when we are awakening on this journey, we start to feel things that we have never felt before. We go through the things that is impossible to explain to someone. We experience things that, you will tell to your friends and they would say, what are you talking about? That's not real. That's not true. Why are you talking about like this? This is not reality. You will get over, start dating somebody else, do this or do that. But in truth, it doesn't work like this. And why do I talk about that divine feminine is not the chaser? Is the fact that divine feminine energy is magnetism. It has nothing to do with chasing a partner. It has nothing to do of waiting for someone to come back to you. It has nothing to do of being in a void, being in a pain. So now, where does this divine feminine as a chaser comes into? Why is it like this? So we're going to find some answers today here, and they might not be the ones that you have heard over and over and over again on social media or in other places. I really want to say one of the things about Twin Flame Journey, and the same thing about this podcast, and I've said that many, many times. It's here to open your truth. It's here to dive deeper into you. It's here to find your answers. They might not be the same as mine. They might not align as mine. But what's important is that you will start listening what your soul is trying to tell you about your journey. Over 3 years of doing this podcast, I have learned one of the things, that none of the journeys are the same. None of the awakenings are the same. There is an imprint around it, but they are not exactly the same. But now when we enter to the so-called twin flame matrix, where somebody says to you, you are the divine feminine because of you are chasing. Well, yes, in a way it is there, but divine feminine is not a chaser. Divine feminine energy is not chasing. Divine feminine energy is the one that brings it closer. Now you can also ask me, but why is that important? Why it is important that divine feminine energy is not chaser and divine masculine energy is a runner? What's the difference? It doesn't matter. Well, the truth is, and it is a very important truth of this journey, when you believe that I am divine feminine, but you radiate the energy of the wounded divine feminine who is in fear, who doesn't trust, who doesn't see the beauty and connection what you have, you are just going to build a bigger separation. And I dive into all of this in a minute, but right before I'm going to go into that, I just want to take a little moment. Because of, I don't know what has happened. I know that under some of the podcast episodes, there is a donation link where I have said, well, if you like the podcast, if you feel connected, feel free to donate. Or, just. And since now, last month or all the time, I get the notifications. And I thought for a moment that I didn't go into looking at who is sending to me or what's happening. I thought for a moment that there's some sort of a glitch, that okay, maybe this one person sent it to me and it comes again. But turns out, today when I looked at it, there are many of you and different ones of you. So I actually want to say a huge thank you for each dollar and things you have donated, because that helps me to spread more love and make more things happen. And it was such an unexpected surprise, because I know that not under every podcast episode there is the link. I might need to put it again more. So I just want to say huge thank you. So if you are the one who just recently have clicked and donated, thank you. I will not bring out the names over here. Maybe I will just put the initials in the video of YouTube. What a wonderful surprise. I don't even have words for it. Thank you. Thank you. That again helps me to bring another dream into a material world that I could share with all of you and give it to you. Another thing is that last time I enjoyed your comments, the 171s, so much. It brought me every single time to the smile, because when I got the notification 171, it made me so happy. This time, and then I got an idea that this time, let's do a little challenge. If you can write in the comments of how is your twin flame journey at the moment. So whichever way you will put the emojis, and I will try to translate the emojis to see if I understand the hidden language that is the language of emojis. And how is your twin flame journey going on so far? So whoever feels like to leave the comment now or later, do that, because it's a really fun way of connecting. And then one more thing, that at the end of the podcast there is a little surprise from one beautiful soul, from a man who has been doing the sessions with me and who's been on the workshops and who has such a big and beautiful heart. And he felt that he would like to give something for our community for the first time, who would like to connect with me. So at the end of the podcast, you will have the code and you will have the access to it. All I can say that but our community is just so beautiful. We take care of each other. We hold hands. We give when we can, and it's as recently also I will get into the podcast of our 3 years, because 3 years of is going to be finished, and I will share with you what I have learned over this time and what has happened. So if you want to hear about this, make sure you have subscribed, because it's coming in 2 weeks time. But I also wanted to really say that the fact that our community, it's everywhere, on the retreats. Oh, talking of the retreats, I just heard that some of you said that they have not received the email, even though they signed up for the email list. We have 2 spots for our Italy retreat that happens at the end of June this year. Wow, the program I've put together, that has something that has not happened yet on the Twin Flame retreats. So if you feel that you are ready to fully open your heart, experience something, so there are 2 spots available. Get in touch as soon as possible, twinflameawakeningjourney.com. And then of course Cyprus retreat is there as well. We are halfway already filled, and it's in November, 11/11 portal, much more deeper, much more intimate. Anyways, if you wish to come for those, let me know, because that's why I wanted to say that our community, what has been so beautiful is that every one of you supports one another with a kind word, with a session of healing or holding the hand, paying for the session, paying for the things to help to realize that, well, you will get help from there. Go for it. So I'm very thankful and grateful for it. Sorry that I bring it in so much of this kind of part, but it means in the world to me, seeing how people on the retreats are helping each other. They became best friends. Same online, people have become really good friends, holding each other, helping each other. And I think that is the most beautiful way of growing on this journey. And that is also a very much of a divine feminine energy, meaning of you trust, you feel safe, you feel connected. And many of us on this journey, when we first get awakened, and now what's going on here? Why is it like this that we call the divine feminine? As I said to you, be a little bit careful of the information of Twin Flame Matrix, Meaning of, if you start repeating something over and over and over again, it becomes your truth. And once the truth is very settled inside of you, and your soul is asking for something else, your soul is asking to break apart. That's why we can have many mini ego deaths, because the more information we gather, I am this is what I like, this is how I am. But your soul feels, I want to be free. I don't want to have this box where I'm living, that this is how it is. This is what I have to do. This is how it's going to be. And that's what also can happen on Twin Flame Journey, when we use the label, I am Twin Flame, I am Twin Flame. And then all of a sudden, let's say, time goes by and you feel, well, what was that? I don't feel this way anymore. I don't understand. And then comes another big disappointment, because you think, oh, but for, let's say, 4 years, I identified myself as a twin flame, and now I no longer feel connected to it. So was that the false thing? And there is nothing wrong for our mind to have labels. We have to communicate somehow. But what I'm trying to tell you, don't get attached to the labels. And that's very important. And on Twin Flame Journey, not to get attached to the labels is the way to the union as well. The less you are in a sense of a matrix of, I am divine feminine and I am the chaser. What did you just hear me saying? Meaning, your divine feminine is wounded and believes, I have to chase for love, I have to chase for this, because that makes me divine feminine. But that's not the truth. Divine feminine is not about the gender, it's about the energy of consciousness. So it's inside of a man, inside of the woman. It doesn't matter what kind of energy you have, like what kind of sex you have. This inside of all of us, divine feminine and divine masculine is inside of us. And in the nature, in all of that, divine feminine energy is intuition, emotional awareness, creation, and magnetism. And why I want to talk about this, that when we are on this twin flame journey and we get activated, boom, all of a sudden you felt the energies you never felt before. All of a sudden you can hear, feel, sense your twin. All of a sudden you have downloads, you never had them before. All of a sudden you feel love that you have never felt before. This is all actually divine feminine energy. That's why we call it divine feminine, because divine feminine energy is where you feel just present right now, right here. Divine masculine energy is different. I will talk about this as well. But why I bring it in is the fact that now what starts to happen is that you felt the true essence of divine feminine energy, who is magnetic, who can create, who can emotionally feel, but do not get lost in the emotions. You have a very strong intuition all of a sudden. You feel things, you know things without knowing. One of the most common questions I get asked is, how do I know that I have a twin flame? How do I know it? And my answer to this is each and single time, you just know without knowing. You know without knowing, and that is the key element. The moment you are able to know, oh yes, I feel this way, you check the boxes, you have lost the magic. You don't have to have a logic here. And I know, again, on the other hand, it's like, what is this thing? Why I don't have a logic? But there is no logic here. It's all about what you're going to feel. I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to go so deep in it. I'm a bit obsessed about all of this, but our brain cannot filter everything that we think we're feeling. Our brain filters in a certain ways how to make this reality into the reality. So that's why twin flame awakening is a very profound awakening. And people can tell me that, oh, that's not true, that's not real. And to be honest, if this wouldn't have happened to me, I would have said the same thing. would have said, yeah, okay, you have a crush on someone, this happened. But this is energetic, meaning of now you exactly felt this divine feminine energies. Boom, you felt so strongly. And this happens to men as well, who are not in their divine feminine energy, who are controlling, who are in their masculine energy. Just to say, men who are listening, and if I say, oh, you are not in your divine feminine, is not meaning that, oh, they have to be more feminine. No, they need to realize their intuition, their creation, their magnetism. Because that is also when, let's say, men are doing business, men are going out there. If they don't have the creation or intuition with them, they cannot create. They cannot make things happen. And how are they going to feed or take care of their family, their things? Both of them need this energy. And to be honest, another thing that I've noticed very often, and we see this in the world, men are more lost than women. Because of women have stronger intuition, women have stronger magnetism in a certain ways. But men get lost in between there because they don't so-called create the life. Nature has made a woman that who is a creation will create the life. For that, there are different instincts, different energies, different things. So we are not the same. As many as we want to say women and men are same, no, we are not. But we are the same at the same time. Again, such a paradox. We are the same in that sense that when we connect energetically, when we connect, we are the same. But we function differently. And that is the whole idea. Positive and negative, good and bad, this and that. Everything has its own polarized. Men and women. It's there for a reason. It's not there to punish us. I know I talk a lot about all of the things, but why I talk about the feminine energy. We had this International Women's Day and we had this Patreon. We did our workshop, which was calm, which was mantra singing, being present, all of the elevation of the energy. Because divine feminine energy express itself through presence and emotional depth. So, but now on Twin Flame Journey, what we see, if you should describe you as a divine feminine right now, are you afraid? Are you afraid that your so-called divine masculine will never return? Are you afraid that you are not good enough and you will not be chosen? Are you afraid that you expressing your feelings, everything that comes with that is too much? Can you be visible? Can you be seen? Are you ready to step into your purpose and create something from your heart, even if no one is watching, even if no one is caring, but you feel it doing it? Are you ready to sit in silence and know that everything is going to come to you exactly the way it's supposed to come to you? Can you? Or how do you feel? So I go back again, why do we call then the divine feminine as a runner, chaser on this journey? Because it's called wounded divine feminine. Now you had a glimpse of who is a real divine feminine, and your soul is trying to balance into that. And that's why there is an ego death. That's why you're going to feel the pain you never felt. Because if the wounded feminine is afraid that, will I be loved? You have to control. I've said many times on this podcast, my understanding of love was a control. I was terrified that if I don't know something, if I am not in charge of something, if something is not going as a plan, I'm going to lose the person or the situation. I was always, my nervous system was so alert. And I know many women have the same issues. The nervous system is so overpowered that every little notification, every little, let's say if you have children, you're constantly on this, oh my God, is that gonna happen? Oh my God, I saw this. This in your nervous system is on fire. And now on top of that, you met your twin flame and your nervous system is off the roof. Boom. And it's the same can be for men, that they were just too much in the way of maybe control, maybe afraid of something, maybe not opening their heart fully. Many men out there have not opened their heart fully because it's terrifying. And that's why we see so-called divine masculines running more, because they live from their mind space, not from the heart space. And we live in a world of materialism. So men, I know that my twin came forward and said to me, I could never afford you. You're way beyond me. He said many times, it's an impossible love because I cannot have you in my life. And I know you're married, I know this, I know that. So I cannot give you. So his mind was working, I need to be materialistically secured to give you this. But the truth is, you will be absolutely fine when you do things from the heart. And that goes down to both men and women, whether you like it or not. So now coming back to that, the feminine energy expresses itself through the presence and emotional depth, meaning with emotions. So for example, a woman who is embodying a healthy feminine energy will not try to convince someone to love her. No. There's some image in my head for a very long time in some reasons that I don't know why it comes like a Cleopatra or that type of a woman, like a stronger energy, who sits on a throne and all the men are running around her. And she gets to choose somehow. And while I'm not a fan of this, that somebody runs after somebody and so on, but what I'm trying to tell you that if you as a woman who is listening, and same for a man, but man is a little slightly different. I have to explain that a little bit. But you trust that I am this magnetic being and I will receive everything in the highest possible ways. You will. Now, there is another thing over here that we have noticed, and this is also my side, my thing that I have been doing. Is the fact that we women, now I talk of women or empaths, let's say men as well, we try to heal others. We try to give to others, to show it to them that yes, you can be this, yes, you can do this. And that's another big thing, that yes, we can heal, yes, we can transform, but we can only do when we are in a balance within ourselves. So in a previous episode, I spoke about the fact that why the healing, why the inner work matters, and it matters tremendously. Many of you can say, oh, I'll do my inner work because I want my twin back. I'm going to tell you a little thing here. Your twin will always return back to you, one way or another. Will they come open hands and say, I love you and I want to be with you? Maybe not. But they will always return back to your life. They will be always part of your life. They will not disappear. One way or another, they'll be there. And you need to learn to live with that. But if you are staying in a loop that I will heal myself, I will heal my twin. How can I heal my twin? Stop healing others. Work on your own frequency and your own light and your own connection. I've heard this now so many times. I am such an exciting stories for the anniversary story, the 3 years ending the podcast here. But it just, your twin will return. 100%. As many I've spoken to, I have, I think, 4 or 5 cases where their twin has not reached out to them. And they've been a long time on the journey. The rest of them all of them have reached out. Some of them are in a relationship. Some of them realized what was this connection and what was this lesson about. But most of them, so let's say 96%, have returned, that their twin has returned to their life one form or another. Now, why I say one form or another is meaning that it does not come in a place of exactly how we imagine sometimes. And that is also very important to realize. That's why I say that your inner work is extremely important on this journey. And so, again, I come back to the divine feminine energy with the fact that energetically we irradiate energy. And as much as people want to tell me or say that I'll do everything right, everything is there, then everything is right and it's there. Because of your energy will give the signal, that's what you feel, that's what is happening. So for example, that's why also to say, this is now my little theory over here, and you can agree and you can disagree, and all of this is over there. But been working with so many of you and doing the retreats and meeting you, yes, in my opinion, twin flames are holding a very specific, let's say, DNA of a soul. So not the DNA in your body, but DNA of a soul that is very powerful. You are a very powerful manifestator, a creator, healer. You are very powerful messenger. You are very powerful, because these things that have happened on the retreats and on the workshops are impossible for me to describe until you experience it. And I work with other people as well. I work with business owners, I work with lawyers, I work with a lot of people who are just not part of this. As, like I said, for me, energy work is not tied up on certain things. I am a believer that in every area, in every place, it changes your life. It changed mine. And I've said that millions of times. I would never do what I do today if this wouldn't have changed my life. And I am a believer of abundance. I am a believer of sharing. I'm a believer of love. And sometimes maybe a little bit naive in terms of that everybody's love and everybody's light. But I just want to live in a world where we don't feel I have to hold it to myself. This is just my magic. This is what I'm going to do. I don't believe in this. But what I don't do is I don't force anyone. I just do me. And when people feel radiated, they feel connected to me, magic happens. But why is it important is because it's a life-changing for your energy. And whichever way you're going to do this. So coming back to this, that in a way that when we talk of spiritual traditions, so I go back to the divine feminine because it's such an important part. And today I'm trying to break this code inside of you that you will no longer believe that you need to chase. Because in the beginning, and I remember myself, because I felt chasing because I was waiting for the message. I was waiting for the answers. I was waiting and all of these energies were coming through me, and I didn't understand what's going on, and I thought, I'm making all of this up. That's not real. Well, the truth is, I didn't make any of this up. And so actually what I received was the truth. And that's why I say that when you go deeper within you, you have the answers. You have to be careful of the information you are constantly consuming, because the more you are repeating divine feminine, I am the chaser, what are you doing? You are staying in a wounded divine feminine energy. And you can agree and you can disagree with me here, but that's something very important. Divine Feminine is a attraction, magnetism, intuition, creation. And Twin Flame Journey brings that out very, very strongly. Because in the beginning, we want the person. That's how it is. In the beginning, we want just to have that person. Now, I don't know if you have connected with me or you have connected with somebody else who is helping you on this journey. You will start to realize that, oh, wait a minute, it was not about that person. But who am I then? Who am I? Now comes another big, clash inside of you that, but who am I? Why I want this person, but at the same time I want to know who am I? And then we go back to the childhood. There comes in the childhood. There comes in the wounds. You start to realize, and it's like, oh, one step after another. And then you're realizing, oh, this journey was about me. And the inner union is within me. Inner union is exactly the same like you would explain to someone who has not yet met their twin flame that, oh, I met my twin flame and I felt this and I felt that and all of a sudden I awakened. Inner union is the same. I can't explain this until you feel it. And that has been keeping me doing it. That has been keeping me to show up. And that has given me a lot of love and a lot of gratitude and a lot of connection. But inner union is not something we think from the mind. And so that's why all of these elements are important. But what is so important for me on today's podcast is that you will start to listen to yourself. Now, what others are saying, not even what I am saying. So now, stop the podcast, finished. Dun, 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 dun. Don't listen anymore. No. Well, if you enjoy, keep listening. If not, start listening to yourself. So, feminine energy is never in the sense of described as weak, passive, or needy. Never needy. It is a creative power, presence, living energy itself. And we know in Hindu traditions, we talked about the Shakti. I spoke about the Shiva and Shakti during the Mahashivaratri. Why is it so powerful? Because the feminine is the active power of energy of the Godhead, meaning of the Shiva. And so Shiva without Shakti is like a corpse. It doesn't work. So it is a feminine generative power. And now, when I bring it back to you, that why is it that, let's say, your twin is not coming back to you? Because of your soul, your essence, your Shakti is so called, the Kundalini that started moving inside of you tells you, you need to step into your creative, intuitive power. So now that does not mean immediately that you need to find your life purpose and start serving the world in the highest possible power. But you do need to find a creative outlet, whichever way it is, whether it's dancing, art, speaking, making a podcast, starting a small business, something that has been on your mind. You do need to step into creation. Maybe also, I just bring a very stupid example, but maybe making a baby, doesn't matter. The energy of creation. And that's also one of the reasons why you are, in a one sense of separated from your divine masculine at the moment, because of you need to give birth to your creation. And so when we are in a sense of, now think of yourself as a future being. You are no longer thinking of your twin. You no longer think, are they going to come, when they're going to come, how they're going to come, what's going to come up here. And guess what, who's going to pop up? Your twin flame. So it's always going to be there. they are not going to disappear. So why does then a wounded feminine starts chasing? Let's get into that. Why we call it on Twin Flame Journey a divine feminine, a chaser, and why does it start chasing? So, as some women or men also who are listening over here, you can say, I'm chasing because I love so deeply. But that's actually not a deeper love. It is an attachment alarm. And I know it's a hard one to hear. So the attachment says that an anxiety, and when we feel heightened distress, it's more about feeling that, oh, I need to have that person, I need to have. So in a certain ways, it's like anxious person reaches and the avoidant person withdraws, which is again two of these labels, anxious and avoidant. But you are not supposed to be the anxious. And your twin is not supposed to be avoidant. And the more we give power to the labels, the more we are giving our power away. Meaning of that when we excuse everything, I know that there are stories about, let's say both sons, there's definitely you've heard the stories of, let's say both sons are growing up with an alcoholic father. And one goes, oh, I am an alcoholic because my father was, and the other one never touches alcohol and goes, I don't touch alcohol because my father was an alcoholic and I don't want to be like him. So, two different scenarios, two different things. But again, we are using the label that, oh, I am this and I am that. Somehow, we are everything. So when the feminine energy becomes chasing, it's pretty much that you feel the bond, you know that this is real, but your nervous system is now, as anything that is in a distance is a danger. And you start explaining more, over-explaining, texting more, over-giving. You try to prove your worth. It's everything. And there's nothing wrong of doing it. I am never going to say that what we do on this twin flame journey is wrong. Believe me. We don't have a guidelines or guidebook over here, what is the good and what is the bad thing and how you're supposed to be. You're human. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to text more. You're going to over-explain. You want to tell them, listen, we're twin flames. We should be together. I love you. Why don't you choose me? Why didn't you choose? Or you become completely quiet, meaning of it's a silent treatment. You no longer explain. You just think that, oh, I don't want to say anything. But at the same time, you do want to say. None of this works. But that's normal. And that is a very, very powerful understanding for you that, oh, I need to reconnect to my feminine energy, my energy of creation. Think of yourself back when you were a little kid. Did you ever question your worth? Did you ever question, like, I obviously everyone's journeys are different, but let's say when you were 3-4-year-old, do you ever question, can I dance here? Can I say my opinion? Can I do this? You were just doing it. And now it's the time to do the same. Your divine so-called masculine who is running loves your authentic self. They don't love the fact of playing the games. They came to your life to awaken the love within you. But does that mean that they're going to be with you and marry and have kids and all of that? Maybe not. Maybe not this lifetime. But they will not disappear. And maybe it does mean, maybe they are just waiting for you to step into this confident, magnetic person that they can come and say, hey, I love you too. You have to love yourself. Divine feminine is not a chaser. So in a one sense of the healthy feminine, the feminine we're talking about it, is I care about this connection. I really do care. I can express that honestly. And I can stay open without thinking of my self-worth if the other person is unavailable or not. For example, the wounded feminine, on the other would say, I feel they are disappearing. I feel they're going away. So I'm going to send very long messages. I'm going to analyze every single silence. I'm trying to fix their emotions. I'm trying to heal them. And I start performing love so they will not disappear. And this is not how it works. And even though the second one might feel that you are giving everything of you to keep this love, to make this love happen, you are there, you are presence. This is not how it works. So now you might be thinking and feeling, oh my God, I'm doing everything wrong. I don't know this and I don't know that. No, my dear, you don't do anything wrong. You just have entered into something very powerful, very magnetic, and it is scary at the same time. So the fact that now the healing, the energy is moving, you're receiving information, all of that happens is normal. And please do not go into the state of blaming or feeling, I am doing something wrong. No, you're not doing anything wrong on this journey. You are just learning to walk. You're just learning to understand. But why do I talk about this in this way today? It's because of the more we are repeating certain things, the more it becomes our reality. And I know how many of you are looking the way to get into union. I know how many of you are looking for that message from your twin flame. How many of you are looking from the answer, was that real or not? But you will not get there with an understanding that, number one, you're separate. Number two, that you need to control or you need to find the ways to get this. You need to get into the oneness, into love. And when you get in there, it will happen naturally. I just had one person on a Bali retreat. And after Bali, of course, a lot is going to change in your life. After Mahashivaratri, a lot is changing in the world, and you will see this within a second. What we did in Bali is still, for me, today, impossible to explain. Because I see energies, I connect to the energies, and what happened there, I don't know how to explain that. The same we had in certain ways of Costa Rica, that when we were there, I cannot explain this. No picture, no videos, even though I have an amazing photographer, amazing videographer. I'm sitting and thinking, I cannot explain this. There are no words for me to express that. And so why I brought her in, that she comes and all of a sudden the twin is inviting, after 3 years, her to the date. For another one, for example, she realized, oh, I don't want to continue from this dynamic anymore. I'm ready to receive something new in my life. And that's why I tell you why you have this big battle as a divine feminine, as a chaser inside of you, because your soul has felt, like your full nervous system has felt what it means to be in love, what it means to be connected, what it means to receive a magic. And now when we remove that, you start believing, oh, this is this person who's going to give me this. And you chase and you chase and you chase. It's like a drug you're going to chase. Until you discover that the drug is within you. And when you take the drug within you, the magic starts to happen. And so it's nothing, I'm not talking about this to put you into the spot that you are doing something wrong. Absolutely, my dear, you do nothing wrong. I had the biggest confusion of my life. I didn't know what to do next. I had no answers. But my takeaway for you today is listen to yourself. Come and connect to your own energy. Work on it. Do not repeat, I am the divine feminine and the chaser. No. Your love, your oneness, and it's already happening. So the greatest misunderstanding on twin flame journey is the idea that love has to be chased. I have to get this. But the feminine does not chase love. When the feminine becomes deeply connected to her soul, to their soul, the love naturally comes back. So it's nothing for you to chase anymore. How about in 2026 we don't chase anymore, we become one. And remember this as well, you do not become magnetic by suppressing your own heart. You become magnetic by bringing your heart, body, and self-worth back into union. Remember, don't suppress your heart. Speak the truth. Enjoy, love, be aligned. And Divine Feminine is magnetic because she so-called manipulates the reality. But she can only so-called manipulate the reality when she's aligned with it. Meaning of, you create the outcome of your journey. And you can believe me or not believe me, but it's the life force energy. It's the life force energy that's going to make it happen. And it's for both men and women. The Kundalini, the Shakti, that is what's going to be. But you need to be listening, connecting from the heart. And when I use the word manipulation, it's not that you are doing something for, I want it this way. Although, yeah, we have seen that in Kundalini communities, that manipulation can come very strong, and in others because it's so powerful. But I'm trying to tell you that you can make this journey exactly how it's supposed to be. Don't stay in a chaser energy. So there's so much more I want to add into that because I love this energy. I was very alien to feminine energy. So that's why I say that if I would have heard this podcast right now, I would have said, this freaking woman is absolutely nuts. She doesn't understand how things are working. It's not like that. What's feminine energy? What masculine energy? Why do I have to know about it? What is going to give it to me? It's not going to give me anything. I don't believe in that. Well, the God made me humble, and now I'm the one who talks about the energies, who sees the energies, who connects to the energies, who listens to the energies. Yeah, it is what it is. But this awakening was very strong. There was this other thing, but I think I'm going to leave it to the next time. So try to remind me that I was supposed to talk about that, how we perceive the reality and how we don't always see everything. There was this, maybe I'll do a little like a video, and I explain that on Patreon, those who want to do, because I have a couple of things where I want to give the comments about certain videos that are online, and not about saying that I am right or wrong, but just bring my perspective into that. But that was about the reality, and when you see something, and I want to really share that, and I think I'm going to do this on Patreon. We'll see. Anyways, I want to go and tell you a few things. The free first session from our one of the beautiful listener is out here, and the code for this is My Divine Masculine Loves Me. So it's the very first session. If you want to join and connect to me and see what's going on with you, activate a little bit energies, get to see if you are on this journey, and so on. So My Divine Masculine Loves Me is the code, which you can use it at twinflameawakeningjourney.com. And then for the retreats, yes, this year we have an extra retreat in Italy, 2026, June happening. So you're more than welcome to join us. 2 more spots are available. If you wish to have more information, twinflameawakeningjourney.com, send me an email. I'll try to put it out on website as well, even though if we are sold out, then I will not put it, but if we're going to sell it out. But if not, it's going to be there a little bit more. And then one more thing. Anyone who feels to connect, everyone who is ready to step into their magic of the energy, We have Patreon. If you support this channel on Patreon, you can join the workshop on 22nd of March now. And then what else we have? We have personal sessions. If you feel called to twinflameawakeningjourney.com, I do channeling, we do activations. We'll just talk, we'll just hold each other's hand and see that you are going on the right direction. Anyways, don't forget to leave the emoji how your journey is going on, and I'll see you over here very, very soon. Lots of love and lots of light.
Soft light falls on quiet sand. You almost leaned in. Shadows move, skin to skin. Something unspoken. Will you let me in? We'll always have that one night. Come morning light, we'll always have that sunrise. We'll always have that sunrise. Daybreak, shadows fade. You step back, I step away. Nothing's broken, nothing new. Only the sunrise. Over you and I will always have that one night. Come morning light, we'll always have that sunrise. We'll always have that sunrise. I don't wanna leave. I don't wanna go. Just for a moment more, be close to you. We'll always have